Hey, West Up, it's West Coast Wednesday. So my daughter and I were talking last week, and as we were having our conversation, we were talking about how difficult it is to transition. We're both in spaces of our lives where we're transitioning. Her from school, me just in life in general. I'm about to be 50 years old, so there are a lot of different things going on in my life that's causing me to be in this place of transition. And we talk about how uncomfortable transitions were. For her, it's the unknown, right? And for me, it's also the unknown. But for her, more so, it's, how do I navigate the fact that I'm about to graduate from college, God willing, give me a nice paying job. And then I'm also simultaneously, I'm going to be working on my master's, and I want to be successful as a student, and I want to be successful as an employee, and I want to be successful as a woman of God, and I want to be successful as a daughter, and I want to be successful even as a sister, and I just want to be successful, right? So what does it look like for me to go from this place of being able to do certain things in undergrad, and then in grad school, I may not be able to do the things that. And what does that look like? Am I still going to be able to do X, Y, and Z? Or do I have to cut this off? Or do I have to cut this person off? Or who's going to go along this journey with me in this transition? And so we talk about the fear that's in transition. Another thing we talked about was the fact that it's easier to go through transitions when you have someone who's gone through the transition before you. Someone who's graduated in the same school or work that you're trying to do. Someone who has navigated going from being a graduate to gainfully employed to going to graduate school and who's worked that all out simultaneously. Someone who's done it successfully that you can go to and allow to mentor you through these next few months to get you through to your next level, because the transition is a step to take you to another level. It's just a transition. This is not your goal or your final destination. It's getting from one place to the other. And so we talked about that. And so we decided, well, that's what West Coast Wednesday is going to be about this month. So look forward to her, Launi, Daylight is what I call her. Look forward to her dropping a West Coast Wednesday on you about her thoughts on transitioning. Well, for me, I think about things biblically. I've just been really in this space of everything comes back to the Bible for me. Normally, on these West Coast Wednesdays, sometimes I may say a word in the word or I may not. But lately, I've just been in my word so much that everything comes back to the Bible. And so when I think about one particular transition, I think about the disciples after Jesus had been crucified. That transition for them, even though he had rose on the third day, it was still a transition for them, because they had an expectation that Jesus' kingdom would mean that he would be alive and that kingdom would be on earth and that he would take Roman rule and he was subjected under his authority. And even though that actually happened, because all authority in heaven and on earth have been given to Jesus, even though that actually happened, the way that they perceived it, the way that they viewed it in their minds on how it would look, didn't quite look that way. So they not only have to were transitioning in life, they had to transition their thinking. And I like to think about my homeboy Rock. Y'all call him Peter. Rock, man, see, Rock, he was the number one disciple. He was the number one apostle. He was the hardest of them all. Rock, cutting off ears, trying to cut off a neck. Rock, upon this rock will I build my church. Rock, Rock rebuked Jesus. Rock, right? Rock, always the first apostle disciple named because he was the lead disciple. Rock. So Rock disappointed Jesus, but Jesus told him he was going to do it. Jesus told him he was going to deny him 3 times. And Rock was like, no, I'm not going to deny you. I'll die for you. And so, y'all know the story. He denied him 3 times. And so Rock, in his own mind, thinking that denying Jesus would mean the fact that if you denied me before men, I will deny you before my Father. Rock, I know he was in his head. And as everybody else was happy that Jesus had came back, and everybody was excited and looking forward to what was going to happen, the leader of the disciples, he went back to his old lifestyle. He went back to fishing. Because I know he was in his head. Man, I done denied Jesus 3 times. And he said, if I deny him before my Father, then he's going to deny me before man. He's going to deny me before my Father. Man, I know he's going to deny me. I denied him 3 times. So he went back to that old lifestyle. I'm going to pause here for a second. A lot of us go, when we disappoint God and things don't go the way that we want them to go, and we take ourselves off the court, we take ourselves off the field, and we try to go back to that old lifestyle. Peter's old lifestyle was fishing on a boat. Jesus said, I will make you a fisher of men. And so instead of walking in his calling, his purpose, he went back to his old lifestyle. I'm telling some of y'all need to leave that old lifestyle alone, because what happened in the text, what happened in the pericope, what happened in the story of Peter and God reconciling that relationship was Peter couldn't even fish anymore. You can't even be a player like you used to be anymore. You can't run game like you used to. You can't do what you used to do. And so you out there at the club trying to pull them, you can't even pull them no more. So Peter was out fishing on a boat, and Jesus rolled up on him and said, hey, cast your nets on the other side. Right? You want to catch something? Throw it on the other side. And so, Peter, did, he did what the Lord said. He didn't know it was the Lord at that time. And then so on and so forth. Long story short, Jesus reconciles the relationship where Peter denied him 3 times. Jesus transitions Peter back to his purpose and his call by asking him 3 times, do you love me? And then I don't want to get too technical about the first 2 loves being agape, and the third love that Jesus asked is phileo, and Peter was consistently with the phileo. Y'all can deal with that on your own. But what I want to focus in on the fact that even though Peter had messed up and in his transitioning was in his emotions and in his feelings and even tried to go back to his old lifestyle, that God still had a call on his life. That God's call was bigger than his cowardice. That God's purpose in his life was bigger than his pain. And so God has a calling on our lives that's bigger than the things that we're going through. And even as we're transitioning through, and we may not fully understand, I'm just telling you this as I'm telling myself. If you keep your hands in God's unchanging hands, when it's all said and done, you're going to look back over your life and you're going to understand why God had you go through something 10 years ago to get you through here, to take you to the next level, because he's trying to level you up. And the only way he's going to level you up is if he transitions you. That's it. As y'all know, as always, stay blessed and stay west.